I can't believe I'm saying this. You can actually sell your fart coin for Nvidia, Circle, the S&P 500. We're going to exchange one fart coin for Nvidia. I'm going to receive 0.006, and we could do it right here. You can actually sell your fart coin for Nvidia, Circle, the S&P 500. Let's do the S&P 500, the actual stock, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll do 10 fart coins for the S&P 500. It's going to give us 0.01 share, and we're going to do that right now, right here. And there you have it. All fun and games over. Let's have a look at the S&P 500, and it's still within my target. Now, I did say many times we're going to hit this area, and it's hit this area numerous times. I did tell folks we're heading lower on the last day of the pump, and ever since that day, we've been heading dramatically lower. While everyone was tweeting and celebrating, I tweeted right over here, the last day of the pump, that we're heading to 88K. I keep getting the same questions and the same DMs again and again and again. Shall I buy Bitcoin at these prices? It's very simple. If you look at the charts right now, we're forming something that is called a bull trap. We swept the highs, and unfortunately we couldn't hold above the previous all-time highs. I was very vocal and very bullish right here. I said that we swept the lows and we didn't even close underneath this area, which means we're heading up higher. And if you really zoom out, these two patterns are identical. If we go back in history to this cycle in last summer, we continued to make bull traps after bull traps after bull traps. It wasn't until 170 days later that we broke out. That's 5 months and some change. And again, during 2023 bull cycle, Bitcoin formed a clear bull trap. Even Ray Charles can see this. As of now, we're hitting this trend line right over here. If you're a bull, then you're looking for a recapture of this area. My thesis still stands and we're heading lower. I want to show you something. All of this is noise. I do not care whether it goes up, down, sideways. This is all noise to me. During a football game, when you have two opponents battling it out, I really don't care whether this one scored in the first half or the second half or etc. At the end of the day, it's results driven. Did they win, lose, or draw? And where I see the charts heading to is lower, with all the positive outlets from all over the media. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin. The price is still moving sideways. I might be wrong, but I've been right so far. Bitcoin is slowly heading to my target. This is the monthly chart for Bitcoin. And if you pay attention very closely, we had a period where I also said sell in May and go away, and we just went sideways till down. We have the same thing playing out again, sell in May and go away. We formed a green monthly candle in June, and then July was a red monthly candle, followed by August. June, we had a green candle, and I believe in July, we're going to have a red candle followed by another red candle in August. If you're a bull and you believe all this media hype, then Bitcoin needs to hold above this area, this box right over here. It needs to hold above this area if you were a bull. In my experience, we're forming a typical distribution. Lower highs followed by lower lows and lower lows. This was just a knee-jerk reaction. I tweeted again on the last day of that pump. Look very closely, and I said weekend pumps are always misleading. My position is already placed on the last day of the pump. I had a huge, massive short. I really don't care what it does from here, guys. I can show you on the 4-hourly chart. I can tell you all the indicators, this and that. It really doesn't matter. This is all noise to me, noise. When it heads to 100K or 99K, this is all just noise to me. My invalidation points are 110,000 US dollars. Other than that, my theory and my thesis still plays out. Bitcoin is still struggling while the S&P 500 continues to make new all-time highs. Not only that, I know a lot of folks have been conditioned to believe that if the S&P 500 continues to go up, Bitcoin is going to follow suit. There are periods when Bitcoin decouples from traditional markets. The myth of M2 supply has finally been debunked. Bitcoin doesn't follow M2 supply inch by inch by inch. Yes, in the larger time frame, yes, all assets go up. Even your watch, your house, the S&P 500, everything goes up because your money is actually sick. If you really base the S&P 500 in gold terms, there's a whole different story. The S&P 500 in gold terms is actually down by 43%. Many participants think the economy is doing very well. They all buy stocks thinking that the price of their asset is actually going up. Yes, it's going up. in fiat terms. It's not going up in actual real terms. It's going down against gold. The stock market in 1929 went down by 89% in real terms. Fiat during that time was actually pegged to gold. During the Great Depression, all the way until 2021, stocks have underperformed since the Great Depression till now by 77%, a whopping 77% in real terms. Ethereum on the monthly typically does poorly during the summer. If you look back in July in 2019, we went down. August, another red candle, and then finally September, a green candle. But typically we find that during the summer, July again, a red candle, August, a red candle, and then September we have a green candle. If we extrapolate that information, seasonality has a massive part and a massive role in crypto. I did say to many folks, sell in May and go away. We're going to find ourselves the same pattern. July, a red monthly candle. August is another red monthly candle, followed by September, a green candle. Solana, the same applies. May is a red candle. June, a red candle, followed by September, a relief, a rally. But initially, we just moved sideways during that time. And again, May was a green monthly candle, followed by June, red. July was a green candle, and then finally a red monthly candle in June. We moved sideways. Similar applies with Solana. We're going to find ourselves moving and oscillating around this area. I'm not being bullish or bearish. It's just neutral until we find ourselves in October, September. ADA is holding up very well. Seasonality, same applies. July, we kind of moved sideways during that time. And again, during this period, we went downwards to sideways. I could see ADA just bleed a little bit further to this area and then finally break out. We had this typical range right over here until we finally have a massive green candle. This is the nature of ADA. It bleeds for quite some time and then has a massive, huge green monthly candle. BNB, the best performing cryptocurrency of our cycle. This thing completely ignores all gravity. Look at these massive wicks and it still comes back to this range. This thing has become a safety play and I want to hamper people's expectations now. I really do, because I don't want people to come in and expect to become millionaires overnight. If you want to do that, get into drop shipping. Coin dominance continues to go up higher and higher. If this thing doesn't cool down by 71%, there is a possibility. Now, I don't want to be a doomer. There is a possibility that this whole industry gets hoovered up. I think crypto kind of lost its way. I remember the days when I was here. We weren't really out here to make money. We just thought, this was a hobby. It was fun. It was something to get into. It was just something fun. And I think now it's just become a cesspit of greed. I think the industry is attracting more and more grifters in the space, more and more scammers. And you've got to remember, this whole industry is not regulated. So I think maybe crypto's kind of lost its way. So I think we have to really assess, if it gets to 90, we have to really assess the industry. And it's clear we're heading into the .com era. And the likes of Ethereum, Solana, some of the big players are going to really benefit. It's going to really consolidate where this money is heading to. Now, remember, we have like 11 million coins, guys. We've got a plethora of so many different coins. We've got like 2,000 L1s. We've got billions of meme coins, of each one slightly different to the other. First, it was a dog meta, then the cat meta, then they combined the dog and the cat together, and then they combined a dog and a cat and an elephant and an octopus. Once the money dried out and everyone got finished, they moved on to another meta, and it keeps on moving. New money is not coming in. This is the result of new money not actually coming in. And you got to bear in mind, there is a recessionary scare heading in the horizon. Yeah, keep this between us two. There is a recessionary scare about to come and it's going to unfold. All right. You got to understand the S&P 500 is being propped up by just a few entities. Once you have a deeper inspection, you'll realize that the majority of the S&P 500 haven't even broken their 200-day moving averages. They haven't made an all-time new high. The only ones that have made all-time new highs are the likes of Nvidia, Microsoft, Netflix, and a cohort of other top tech plays. Nvidia has made a new massive monthly high, and we're going to continue to go up and up as this AI meta continues to play out. If you're new to my channel, I was speaking about Coinbase very early days when it was around here. It's making all-time new highs. No surprise here. That's an honorable mention. As for the rest of the crypto market, we're going to have a slow and painful bleed. This is heading lower. I feel like I constantly give you bad news. I really want to give you good news. I really want to give you good news. But for the meantime, this summer, typically we see ourselves head downwards to this area. Let's look at some TAs, and Sue has gone down quite a bit. I can see another little relief rally in the future, but it's heading downwards before it heads upwards. We need the Fed to finally pivot. I could see a tradable event where we break out like this, head over here, and then we continue to range, maybe find a great buying opportunity over here. DOT is making new lows, and this is a lesson in crypto. Majority of coins bleed and bleed. Don't fall in love with any of your investments. We should see Bitcoin dominance slightly come down. All right, guys, that will give some respite for altcoins, but in the grand scheme of things, we normally go up during July, August, September. Bitcoin dominance is heading to 72. And then we'll speak about where we could see it actually cool off. This cycle is very, very different to the other cycles. It's very, very clear and evident. In my opinion, we still haven't got to max pain. I think max pain is at 72 and maybe higher. Render is hitting this trend line. The first one was a good bounce. Second one was a good bounce. The third one, we normally don't bounce as much. All right, guys, we're going to head to this lower area, this bear market consolidation. No surprise here. Most altcoins are in multi-year bear markets. One more thing I want to say. While Bitcoin is hovering at 100K, altcoins catch up. But this is very, very different. Actually struggling to stay at 100K. It's taking liquidity, taking more liquidity from the altcoins, taking more liquidity, more and more until it can't continue. My theory is that Bitcoin actually needs altcoins. Bitcoin could probably be at 300K by now if the altcoin market was actually healthy. There's a lesson in that. But because the altcoin market is not healthy, Bitcoin's really struggling, like really struggling now. You have to also remember, crypto is not regulated. I can right now go on any media outlet and pay any of these news outlets. It's perfectly legal, and I can pay them to continue shilling any project. Yet the price is not moving. The price is actually stagnant. Most participants are actually sitting on stable coins and they're getting punished. You don't realize you're actually getting punished to sit in stable coins. The dollar has gone down by a massive 12%, 13%. It's gone down by 13%. The longer you sit on stables, the more your money is being devalued. In previous cycles, this was actually amazing news. That means altcoins would go up. Bitcoin will go up. But Bitcoin is sniffing something at the moment. But I'll explain later. The dollar is so bad that it's worse than the Bretton Woods Agreement. When we first depegged from gold, it's worse than that period. The good news is, as a contrarian that I am, I think the dollar's heading back up now. I think everyone was uber bullish here. And I think everyone has swayed uber bearish here. We got a few more days until we find the absolute bottom. I have some very, very good news, like very, very good news for you. Regardless of price action, Ethereum has PayPal on chain, Visa on chain, Stripe, Sony, Fidelity, JP Morgan, Starbucks, Nike, Adidas, MasterCard, and the list goes on and on and on. They have hundreds of real businesses that generate revenue and profit using none other.
To get early exposure to private companies like SpaceX and OpenAI, which are now worth billions of dollars.
That would be exciting to do, wouldn't it? But why talk about doing it later when we can do it right now? You may have been wondering what this awesome briefcase that I walked in with was for. Well, I'm holding in my hands right now the keys to the first ever stock tokens for OpenAI. And not just OpenAI, but also SpaceX. SpaceX is in here too. If you download the Robinhood EU app, which we gave you ample warning to do, you're about to figure out why we gave you that warning. I'd like to transfer these tokens to you and give you exposure to two of the most valuable private companies in the world right now. We'll give you a week to onboard, then we're going to release all the tokens. So as long as you're a Robinhood EU customer, you'll be able to claim what we believe are the world's first OpenAI and SpaceX private stock tokens on a decentralized blockchain.
And just remember, the deadline is end of day on Monday, July 7th, or Juillet 7th. This is really exciting, and I can't wait to see it.
Of Robinhood are meantime hitting a new all-time high after they unveiled a slew of new products this morning, including new stock and ETF tokens, crypto products, and the ability to own stock tokens in private companies, including OpenAI and SpaceX. The shares are up 10.5%. Let's bring in Robinhood CEO and co-founder Vlad Tenev. On the back of what's already been an incredible year, Vlad. I mean, so for those of us who semi-understand Bitcoin and crypto, I'm still struggling to wrap my head around the token thing. Thank you for making the time, and congratulations on a great event and everything you guys just announced. But can you explain what are tokens and why is this so different from the way that the system works right now?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, I think there's two ways to view crypto. One is as a tradable asset like stocks, options, and futures. The other as a fundamental technology that I believe is going to underpin the entire financial services industry in a few years' time. And I think this latter vision is more interesting. And what we've demonstrated here is the capability to put real-world assets on a blockchain, make them tradable, just like the cryptos you mentioned, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and leveraging all the benefits of blockchain technology. So from a practical standpoint, these are stock tokens of public companies like NVIDIA and Amazon and many others that are going to be available in Europe. And we also demonstrated the ability to tokenize private companies. So we gave away OpenAI and SpaceX private company stock tokens to our customers as well. And I think it's quite amazing. Sure. And I believe it will make it easier to invest in American companies if you're outside the world. It will also bring the markets into 24/7 and fully on-chain and get all the benefits that crypto technology levies on these traditional assets. So I think it's time to move beyond Bitcoin and meme coins into real-world assets that exhibit fundamental utility.
Final honorable mention is Unit 000. We spoke about this at the very lows and it's gone up a massive 18x. Altcoin season is already here, guys. You just don't know it yet. I spoke about it here. I spoke about it throughout the whole bull run, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking to buy, then you wait for lower prices. Don't be foolish and stupid. Wait for this trend line right over here. Some of our private members made some exceptional gains, and during the whole tariff scare during World War III, this little gem continued to make higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. If you want to stay on the right side of markets, join our private members. We got 15% off this week. Join our private members. I'm off. I'm going to enjoy the summer, head to the beach, all of that good stuff. I hope you're enjoying your summer. See you in the next one. Peace. It's hot.